Species. Watch Ladies Man coming this fall to CBS Monday.
Tonight on The Late Show, Dave welcomes actor Hugh Grant. Plus the Mavericks. It's all new Dave tonight. First, your local news.
Pedestrians and motorists clash in the streets of Atlanta tonight over the right to cross safely. Plus, a Rockdale County teen will face his accusers as an adult. Reaction tonight on a judge's ruling in the case of the Heritage High School shooting suspect T.J. Solomon. CBS Atlanta News starts right now.
From CBS Atlanta, WGNX-46. This is CBS Atlanta News at 11.
Horns honked madly in Midtown Atlanta this evening as people took to the streets in support of the rights of pedestrians. Drivers stopped, but tempers flared over a law that seems to be foreign to Atlanta motorists. Good evening, I'm Andrea R. Snow. Karen Greer is off tonight.
I'm John McKnight. Atlanta has one of the worst records in the country for hit-and-run driving accidents and fatalities. That's why pedestrians came out in force tonight to promote safety. CBS Atlanta News reporter Patricia Hunt joins us now from Buckhead, where this has been a recurring problem. Patricia?
Well, John, Andrea said it earlier. Pedestrian safety is almost a foreign language in this town. Last year alone, we had 26 people die in hit-and-run accidents. That year, we had 560 accidents involving pedestrians. Why, our beloved Margaret Mitchell lost her life to a hit-and-run driver 50 years ago today. In all these years, you'd think we'd learn, but we haven't.
Thank you.
Yeah, we gotta get this nasty driver on the
He must be a Christian.
That was just the kind of display of anger these protesters wanted television cameras to see, and Atlanta motorists did not disappoint. First along Peachtree Street lived up to their worst expectations.
I just walked across the street. This car he wasn't even looking at me. I saw him. He was just driving. He wasn't even looking to see if anybody was in the crosswalk.
Stop! 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 Oh, you're in the crosswalk. Could you back up a little bit? You're in the crosswalk. Back up! Right.
Did you know you could get a ticket for not stopping for a pedestrian already in a crosswalk, even if there isn't a stop sign? The law is on the books in Georgia, but it is hardly enforced until there's an accident. These pedestrians were out today to take back Atlanta streets.
You have to have more than a law that's written down. You have to teach the law and you have to enforce the law. The city has not done that so far. They were just ticketing if someone had been hit.
Sally Phlox and her pedestrian followers are leading the fight for pedestrians in this town. They chose the anniversary of Margaret Mitchell's hit-and-run death to walk their point home.
I'm really sorry that we did lose her, and I hope that pedestrian safety can be one of her many legacies to the city.
Well, this city already owes Margaret Mitchell a very deep debt. It is amazing to see her legacy continuing to evolve. John?
It sure is, 50 years later. Patricia, can we expect Atlanta police now to enforce the pedestrian crosswalk law?
Actually, yes, we can expect more enforcement. You know, this city is changing every day. We are becoming more of a pedestrian city. People are moving back into town, and there are more people walking, and this is a case where police are having to line up with the new dispensation. And yes, you can expect them to be writing tickets to people violating the rights of pedestrians.
All right, we shall see. Thank you, Patricia. The city of Atlanta is presently spending $15 million for the construction of sidewalks in an effort to improve pedestrian safety.
A district attorney in Rockdale County asked a judge today to send a strong message to young people and their parents, and the judge has. He ordered a 15-year-old boy accused in the Heritage High School shooting spree in May to stand trial as an adult. Today in court, prosecutors displayed the rifle they say T.J. Solomon used to open fire, injuring 6 of his classmates. They said kids need to know they will be held responsible for violent acts. CBS Atlanta News reporter Fred Powers was at the courthouse and tonight has reaction from people in the community.
I'm glad that somebody's taking a stand saying, hey, we need to do something about this because it's not right.
As families gathered throughout Rockdale County tonight to cool down at the end of a hot summer's day,
have a regular strawberry shake?
Word spread quickly.
I'm not quite sure if he should be tried as an adult because he is 15 years old. And at 15 years old, they're not quite capable of making adult decisions, I don't think.
Leslie Alliston and a friend took their kids out to celebrate the first day of school. As a mother, she feels for T.J. Solomon's mother.
I can't imagine what position I would be in if it was my child involved in either side.
In court, there was little emotion from Mrs. Solomon after the judge ordered her son over to Superior Court to stand trial as an adult. As she left the courthouse, she had no comment.
This must be a very difficult time for you.
The father of one of the 6 students who were shot did speak, however, saying he fears what other kids might do.
My boys aren't afraid to go to school. Their father's afraid for them to go to school. I've got 3 other boys coming up in Rockdale County schools. I'm afraid, because I know, as you all know, this is going to happen again.
Leslie Alliston says if she were in his shoes, she might feel the same way. It says parents need to let go of that fear.
It does frighten me, but you can't worry your whole life away about something might happen to you, because that's not a good way, realistic way to raise your children, because everyone in this world is not bad.
Everyone I talked to tonight says it's sad a 15-year-old boy decided to throw everything away, but hopefully T.J. Solomon can still turn his life around. Mr. Cheek, meanwhile, the father of Jason Cheek, one of the classmates who was shot, told me Jason was back at school at Heritage High. He's playing football again and doing well. Andrea?
All right. Thank you, Fred. T.J. Solomon faces a number of charges, including aggravated assault and possession of firearms. If convicted on all charges, he could face 320 years in prison. Solomon's attorneys plan to appeal today's decision.
As the events of the T.J. Solomon case unfolded in court today, it was back to school for students at Rockdale County's Heritage High. Along with new classes and teachers this year, come new safety measures. Among them, more video cameras in the building and on school buses, plus additional lights in the parking lots. Many of the teenagers are trying to put the shooting spree behind them and focus on the future.
There's a lot more cameras, so everybody's a little bit calmer. It just went real smooth.
I feel comfortable going back. I don't think there's going to be any more problems.
Some parents aren't convinced the school is safe enough for their teens. One woman told us she's pulling her son out of Heritage High and is enrolling him in a private school.
The man suspected in a shooting rampage at a Jewish community center in Los Angeles has been charged tonight with killing a postal worker. The incident happened near the community center yesterday morning. Meanwhile, Buford Furrow Jr. surrendered in Las Vegas this morning. Authorities say Furrow told them he wanted the shooting to be, quote, a wake-up call to America to kill all Jews. Tonight, CBS Atlanta News reporter Mike Stevens takes a closer look at Buford Furrow Jr. and has tips on how you can keep your family safe from his kind of hatred.
That's what I keep thinking, the 5-year-old boy, the 5-year-old boy.
Tonight, in the homes of thousands of Jewish families in the metro area, like the DeKalb County home of Kim and Enoch, shivers still run down their spines because of the L.A. daycare center shootings.
There was one particular picture of a policeman with, I don't know, maybe a string of 15 kids, each one holding hands with the next, and another policeman behind them.
And it's the job of Jay Kamen and the Anti-Defamation League office in Atlanta to keep track of hate groups and individuals who would do something so cowardly. The ADL says the accused killer, Buford Furrow, allegedly has ties to hate groups in the Northwest, including well-known white supremacist groups. Records show he recently pleaded guilty to assault with a knife, and last year he tried to have himself committed to a psychiatric hospital.
If you know somebody that has these types of views or these types of problems or have a propensity for this type of violence, that they need to seek help or you need to watch them very closely.
The ADL says it's difficult to know when someone unstable and full of hate will act. Still, it says institutions can prepare. Things like knowing who's in your building, making visitors sign in to get in. Also, keep doors locked and use a buzzer to let people in. And don't let unknown or strange cars stay in your parking lot too long without calling police. Now, in Atlanta, there's been few anti-Semitic incidents, mostly vandalism. 2 years in a row, Congregation Beth Jacob in DeKalb County has been hit during its high holy days. Tonight, because of the L.A. shooting, they've tightened security even more.
It goes right here.
Of course, in addition to safety at your synagogue, church, or mosque, hate crimes can also strike at home.
Right.
But even with Enoch's parents being Holocaust survivors, they say turning their home into an armed camp is not the answer.
We put as much security as we can into place, and I mean, what do? Go hide in the basements and lock the doors? We're not going to do it. We're not going to do that.
Well, experts say there are standard security measures anybody can do at home, things having to do with lighting, security systems, and just being cautious. But security for a building is much more involved. So the Anti-Defamation League has this handbook available, which goes into much more detail. Andrea?
All right. Thank you, Mike. Prosecutors say they'll file 5 charges of attempted murder against Buford Furrow tomorrow, stemming from the shootings at the community center. If you'd like more information on security for your business or organization, contact the Anti-Defamation League by logging on to our website at cbsatlanta.com.
The governor of Utah tonight has declared a state of emergency after a deadly tornado tore through downtown Salt Lake City without warning.
Whoa, look at that. Shit, man. The Delta Center roof just got taken off. The roof of the Delta Center just went, oh my God.
Workers in a downtown office building risked their lives to videotape the twister as it approached downtown Salt Lake City. It was over in a matter of moments, but killed 1 person and injured more than 100.
He got hurt real bad, and I'm just waiting for my ambulance.
What did it look like when it was coming?
A big black cloud spinning around. It was crazy.
The tornado tossed trucks on their sides, uprooted trees, and damaged downtown buildings. Twisters are rare in Utah, with an average of only 2 in a whole year.
Many Utah residents are still stunned at how the storm moved in so quickly.
For more on the deadly storm that took Salt Lake City by surprise, let's go to meteorologist John Weatherby. John?
Rare as it may have been, it certainly left its effect on Salt Lake City here at the southeast end of the Great Salt Lake. I have a still picture for you of what it looked like as the tornado was on the ground, and that's all the bigger the signature was. It was not very large, but certainly deadly. Moving quickly off to the northeast, they expected to figure out that it'll be an F2, moving northeast very quickly and dissipating very quickly. Now that precipitation and that storm is part of a bigger area of precipitation, which is going to move across the northern plains and may skirt by North Georgia at the beginning of our weekend. Right now tonight, just some popcorn or scattered showers and thunderstorms across the southeast. Nothing much at all and nothing here in North Georgia to worry about. So you'll see that in our 7-day planner, and that'll be coming up in just a minute. Andrea?
All right, thanks, John. Well, Salt Lake City is far from Georgia, but today's storm reminds us of our own devastation last year. On March 20th, 1998, Hall County was hit by an F3 tornado, and like Salt Lake City, there was no warning. 14 people were killed by that storm and several others injured. Since the terrible storm, Georgia has made many changes to give residents plenty of warning if a tornado hits again. The NOAA radio network has been upgraded. New weather sirens are in place in 13 counties, and a new storm laboratory has been added at Georgia Tech, helping to send out faster warnings.
In sports, some good news tonight. For Falcons fans, All-Pro running back Jamal Anderson is back.
Steve Taylor joins us now with the details. Steve.
Jamal Anderson is officially the highest paid player in Falcon history after getting together with Dan Reeves and GM Harold Richardson this afternoon at the Greenville Hilton. Definitely worth the trip for the All-Pro running back. The number's 5 years, $32 million. He got $7.5 million just for signing the contracts. I'd do it for half of that. But then again, I probably would not have rushed for 1,846 yards last season. Here's Jamal.
What was the overriding factor, Jamal, that got you to come to an agreement today?
They told me they were going to buy me a house in Alpharetta and a Bentley, and I said the deal's done.
You know, I had a good idea that it was going to get done at that time because, you know, there's some concessions on both sides as far as trying to get the deal done, but you know, happy to get it over with, and I think, you know, getting Jamal in camp and forget about it, put it behind you and move forward. But I think it was just a very good discussion while I was there, and I don't know what happened, you know, after I left. So.
Well, after Dan...
no, there really wasn't. I think it was, you know, some discussions.
We just tied. When he left, we double-teamed Harold. We tied him up. I hit him a couple of times. No play. It was intense, though.
That's amazing. After all that weight, they can sit there and just smile.
They're buddies. And what I like about Jamal is he never met a microphone he didn't like. He's kind of the Will Rogers of NFL guys. Great interview.
He can even interrupt the coach with impunity whenever he wants.
Got away with it.
Power to the players, huh?
Right.
Yeah, coming up later on CBS Atlanta News.
We will hear more from Jamal a little bit later on. Well, before word of Anderson's new contract agreement, we asked 500 Metro Atlanta sports fans in our CBS Atlanta News flash poll if they agreed with Anderson's holdout. Overwhelmingly, they did not. 78% didn't support his holdout. 19% think he did the right thing. 3% weren't sure.
I tell you what, you know, just hold out and wait for those big bucks to roll in.
It's amazing 3% had no opinion.
You're right.
I thought everybody had an opinion about that.
Coming up later on CBS Atlanta News, a failed safety test by U.S. airplanes forces an FAA order.
Also ahead, 1 million bricks were used to construct it. Now anxious shoppers in Georgia can't wait for it to open.
And up next, watch where you get your legal advice. It almost cost one Georgia woman her home.
One Georgia woman almost lost her home today, and what happened to her may serve as a warning to all of us. CBS Atlanta News reporter Lee Green explains Catherine Shy placed her trust in a paralegal who is now in jail.
I mean, I just feel, I just can't explain it. It's just like a big load has been lifted off my shoulders.
Catherine Shy's reaction when she learned she can keep her home. It all started when she took out a second mortgage to finance home repairs. Faced with bankruptcy, she enlisted the aid of paralegal Roger Morgan.
I heard advertisement, and, you know, he was saying that he could help people out that's in need, and he would be, his price would be lower than regular lawyers.
But after some highly questionable advice, Ms. Shy signed her home over to Morgan. She says he told her it was a legal maneuver. The next thing she knew, she was in court, and Morgan was trying to have her evicted.
It was possible that you were going to lose your house.
I know.
But Mr. Morgan couldn't be in court this morning. You see, he was a guest here at the DeKalb County Jail, arrested last night for obstructing a police officer who was executing a search warrant at his home. You see, Mr. Morgan is no stranger to DeKalb County authorities. He learned his legal skills in jail, and it now looks as though he's going to need those skills.
Because he's committed bankruptcy and mortgage fraud.
This morning, the effort to evict Ms. Shy was thrown out of court.
I dismissed both of them as a procedural matter, and you're free to go.
There is a lesson here for those who may be looking for similar help.
Well, we saw how that help almost ended today with somebody being evicted from their own home.
So the best advice you can give people in a situation like that is seek adequate legal counsel.
Yes, if you're going to get legal advice, make sure the person's a lawyer.
Ms. Shy is back now, back in her home of 20 years, having come perilously close to losing everything.
Tears of joy.
Lee Green, CBS Atlanta News.
Ms. Shy is now getting some reliable help and is working out a payment plan so she can keep her home. Paralegal Roger Morgan will probably face fraud charges in federal court as a result of the raid on his home last night. The DeKalb Solicitor's Office is investigating 2 other cases involving Morgan, similar to Ms. Shy's case.
Scary story.
Yes, it is.
I tell you, in hot weather, more hot weather, meteorologist John Weatherby joins us now with the forecast.
And that can be scary, too,
yes,
especially when we start seeing those heat indexes rising up and higher, and that's where they're headed to this weekend. But we're also headed for perhaps some showers that you'll see here in a little bit. Here we go again. Another hazy, humid start to the day. 76 by the 8 o'clock hour in the morning. Here at 11 o'clock, we are mostly cloudy with 84 degrees at this hour. Relative humidity at 59%. West breeze at 5. Our barometric pressure is rising. Updated the high for you. We made 96 today. 96 and 74 were our extremes. And temperatures right now around the region are still quite warm. We do have some 70s. Rockmart, Woodstock 79, Noonan 79, Griffin 77. Everybody else in the lower 80s, 85 at Fairburn, 85 right now at Norcross. The showers that we were watching earlier have now started to dissipate. They're just falling apart as they lose the heat of the day. There's still some more back up there in Illinois in association with these clouds. Almost see the rotation, and there is quite a few low clouds here that may make some Perseid meteor shower viewing a bit difficult later on this evening, but we hope those clouds will clear, because what's causing those clouds is this frontal boundary, and it's going to get pulled off to the northeast rather quickly. Trough of low pressure stays here in the Gulf. More showers and thunderstorms north of us, and this front is what's going to try to slide all the way into Georgia by the weekend and perhaps bring us some rain. But not for tonight. Fair skies, warm and muggy, 73 for an overnight low. By the time we get to 8 o'clock, we're up to 76 degrees. A very humid and hazy start to the day. West breeze 5 to 10, 92 by the noon hour. Our 26th consecutive smog alert, and a 95 will be tomorrow afternoon's high temperature. And your exclusive 7-day planner stays dry for Friday as well. Perhaps as early as Friday night, we may see some isolated thunderstorms. Friday, 93. Saturday, though, maybe a better chance of some showers and thunderstorms. Call it a high only 90, only 92, only 90 for Sunday, so the weekend's not a washout. Still another chance of some precipitation late in the planner. So lots of 90s there, and we could see some heat advisories later in the week.
Really need those showers to clean the air, too, a little bit.
Clean the air, water lawns, just a whole bunch of things we need.
All right, thanks, John.
Yes,
Less than 36 hours from now, the largest shopping mall in the South will open its doors. Huge crowds are expected at the Mall of Georgia when it opens its doors Friday morning at 9:30. To get to the mall from Atlanta, you head straight up I-85 north to exit 46, State Route 20 west. One of the first clues you're getting close is the road construction. All the road work around the mall is not yet complete, and authorities expect some pretty big traffic jams. Police will be out in full force to help, but you'll also need some patience. Inside the mall, it's going to be a mad dash to finish.
It's pretty scary to walk through a day or so before opening day, but this mall, I'm telling you, it looks great, and it's going to look better tomorrow, and come Friday, people are going to just be thrilled at what they find.
The mall includes an open-air village with a 500-seat amphitheater. There's also a 7-story IMAX theater. If you want more information on the new Mall of Georgia, log on to our website at cbsatlanta.com.
Girl power will soon have a place at the breakfast table. Coming up later on CBS Atlanta News, the U.S. Women's World Cup win makes another mark.
Plus, a move to make airlines safe from fire is underway. The story next. Clayton County plans to have a new bus system on the road by next year. Today, the Georgia Regional Transportation Authority voted to give the county $4 million in loans to get the system up and running. If approved, the new bus system would serve South Lake Mall, the Clayton College and State University, and it would also serve all major cities. Under the proposal now being studied, the bus system would connect to MARTA rail stations, giving riders access to all parts of the city.
A flammable kind of airline insulation could be a threat to air safety. And tonight, the government is ordering the material replaced. It's called metallized mylar. The Federal Aviation Administration says the material will be replaced in 700 U.S. aircraft within the next 4 years. Studies show metallized mylar failed flame tests. Mylar is used to maintain temperatures inside the cabin and as a noise buffer. Today's order affects U.S. planes built by a former McDonald Douglas Corporation, now owned by Boeing. They include aircraft models MD-80, MD-88, MD-90, DC-10, and the MD-11. Those model numbers affect several major air carriers, including Atlanta-based Delta.
2 routine tests during pregnancy could become accurate or more accurate for predicting Down syndrome and safer for both mother and baby. Results of that new study top tonight's Eye on Your Health. Researchers found combining blood and ultrasound tests in the first and second trimesters is a better way of determining the risk for Downs. They say the method would spare many women the need for amniocentesis and prevent the risk of miscarriage. About 1 in 700 babies is born with Down syndrome.
One of Hollywood's superpowers is being honored by the Pentagon. Steven Spielberg received the Defense Department Public Service Award in recognition of the movie Saving Private Ryan. Secretary of Defense William Cohen presented the award to Spielberg. Many veterans say the movie Saving Private Ryan helped Americans understand the sacrifice made by U.S. forces during the war. Spielberg will also be honored by the Smithsonian with a humanitarian award.
There is more on CBS Atlanta News, including the last look at weather when we return.
Steve Taylor is back with sports. The Houston Astros ought to be mighty glad to be leaving Atlanta, but I don't imagine the Braves are happy to see them go.
Braves certainly had a Houston solution. That's a country song.
Is it really?
Big country fan. I'll sing a few bars if we have time at the end of sports tonight.
We have time right now.
Can't wait.
Astros hit town with the best record in the National League. Not anymore. A disastrous 3-game series at Turner Field. A 4-run second tonight for the Braves. 3 homers off Jose Lima. Jose Hernandez, the first one there. Later, Brett Boone, who victimized the Astros for a homer, and 4 runs batted in last night. Now the 2-run shot tonight. And Chipper Jones says, can I get in on the fun? He can. He did. The Braves take a 5-1 lead and go on to the 8-5 win. Astros will be riding a broom out of Hartsfield tonight instead of a plane after the sweep.
And we've been fortunate enough to win all 3, and it was a great homestand. We only lost to 1 game. And Maddox, I thought, was off a little bit tonight.
It was a good series for us. I mean, that's a tough team right there, and we went out and took it to them 3 games and beat them. And like I said, right now, that's a tough thing to do.
Brett Boone, as we told you earlier, Jamal is jamming again with the Falcons after reaching a contract agreement late this afternoon. Here's Jamal deep in thought as he arrived for tonight's press conference. But right about here, I think he realizes it. 5 years, $32 million. There'd been talk he might give part of his bonus to blocking back Bob Christian.
And he told me you said he was you will give him part of the bonus money. That's nice of you. I know Bob appreciates that.
Some percentage will come to Bobby, I'm sure. It may be really small, but
and his bonus $7.5 million. Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets haven't had a single holdout this summer. Today was photo day for the Jackets. Say cheese. Jackets would rather say sugar, as in Sugar Bowl, this year's national championship game. And with 15 returning starters from last year's 10-2 team, hey, it never hurts to think big.
Added pressure or added talk about a team because they win is good. I mean, that's what you want. You want to win. You don't want to stop winning because extra pressure is getting on you. You don't want to stop winning because they're expecting this. You want to keep winning. As we all know, 9-3, will be a failure.
Sports Illustrated today picked Penn State as its preseason #1. The new Sports Illustrated jinx is out.
Okay,
no one ever wins on Sports
Illustrated. We're going to catch that song tomorrow, right?
Yeah, we'll have time tomorrow. They're rapping me right now.
We're going to wait for it. Women's soccer fever is still picking up momentum and popularity. The World Cup champion U.S. women's soccer team have now their very own Wheaties box cover. Featured on the front of the cereal box are players Mia Hamm, goalkeeper Brianna Scurry, and 3 other popular faces of the team. There has not been any soccer player on the box for 75 years. The Women's World Cup Wheaties box has not yet been unveiled.
I'm sure they'll all be wearing those shirts.
Yeah, you're right.
Up next on CBS Atlanta News. Coming soon to a Mickey D's near you. Burgers at the press of a button.
John Weatherby has one final word on the weather.
Should be quiet for tonight. I'm afraid there's some high clouds setting up for the Perseid meteor shower viewing, but no big problem. 73 overnight, 95, hazy, hot, and humid again tomorrow. Again on Friday, 93. Maybe a chance of some rain on Saturday.
Thanks, John. Finally, a labor shortage for McDonald's restaurants could turn out to be great fun for the customers. The fast food giant is putting the power of ordering in electronic kiosks. It will allow the customers to key in their own orders and wait at the table for the food. 2 testing machines are set up in Michigan. Others will be added nationwide by the year 2000. Other fast food chains say they're not interested in the kiosks. They just want to give personal service. I can't imagine that being fun, though.
Yeah, what happens when you get the wrong order? That's CBS Atlanta News tonight. Thanks for making us your choice for news. For John and Steve, I'm Andrea Arsenault.
I'm John McKnight. The Late Show with David Letterman is next. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.